Hello, friends. It's Giuliano. It's the 22nd of April, 2022. And today we're going to do part 2 of the weekly roundup, where we take a look at a whole bunch of different crypto price charts, altcoins priced in Bitcoin, the altcoin Bitcoin pairs, as well as Bitcoin USD. So if you didn't see part 1 for this week, we looked at the weekly price charts for Mir, Rune, Atom, Luna, Matic, AVAX, Sol, FTM, and DOT against BTC. So check that out if you missed it. And now we'll start with Xmr Monero. For the first time, we're going to take a look at Monero on this series, weekly roundups. Well, okay, what do we see? I mean, firstly, I'm looking at the momentum, and I'm seeing that on a weekly price chart, it's moving towards the upper end. So, you know, it's close to being overbought, which means it's been trending up. And where will it turn? Not sure, but if we look here, we see in the price chart, wow, long-term Monero price chart, even the MACD is on a positive momentum, but it's still, it's been, you know, a big move up, all this momentum in the positive sense, and then crash down to negative, and it's just been flatlining for a while, a little bit of pump and dumps, in that sense, you know, not an intentional pump and dump like a scam, but just moves up, moves down, but generally with a downtrend since April of 2018. And of course, even you could say against the BTC price charts, a lot of the altcoins, they really began in this August of 2017 timeframe, some of them June or whatever, but that time frame of 2017. So what's happening here? I picked this up because some people were talking about how Monero was breaking out from a downtrending resistance. So that's great. That's beautiful. And how much more room does it have to go? Not sure. But what we see ahead here are some strong resistance potentials, which is the Ichimoku cloud first, and then the 200-week moving average as a potential resistance. And if we notice on a horizontal level, we have this price action here, which confluences with the 200 moving average, 200-week moving average. And if we bring it all the way back here, like, it has some relevance as a zone of price action. So, you know, you could even rectangularize it and make it a bit more of a zone like that, where you have these price actions here where they didn't quite, you know, it chops around, and it's basically a zone. And what we're going to do is just add a little bit of background. There you go. So there is a potential zone of topping for Monero for this time, but that's the beauty of it, is if it could make it over that and sustain some of this positive momentum at the in the bullish zones, then it could push over and higher and move above this horizontal level. That would be huge, because if you notice, that level also corresponds to this level here, where this became down here some sort of deviation of the price action above. If we go like that and we take that deviation of this price action above, and we see roughly there it is, right into that level. So we are at quite a historical level, roughly, and a little bit closer gets us there. I mean, you know, this price action here, you're now basically at the lower end of it. So yeah, there's Monero. We're looking interesting. I'm glad that we will start covering this one as well. Don't have much else to say other than it's, you know, oftentimes a price breaks out from the downtrending resistance and then it'll come back down. It's really hard to say. There's a thinness to this Ichimoku cloud here that if it could pop higher and hold, if this momentum could carry for a little while, that would be super bullish. That'd be great. All right. Well, let's see what happens. There's a while to go yet, and it's definitely been a lot of positive momentum. So is it going to slow down a bit first before popping over, or is it just going to turn all the way back around? We're going to have to wait and see. So stick around to this channel and these videos for these weekly roundups. All right. And upcoming will be also a Bitcoin specific Bitcoin update. All right. So that's XMR for us. Really look at the price action more than anything. I might call out the numbers of on the side, but I look at price action, we look at time, we look at momentum. And in this case, well, I'm not sure what's going to happen with this momentum. Maybe it's just going to be a quick little bump over in the positive, a little quick cross, and then back to negative. That's sometimes how it has to happen in order to slow things down. But the question is, where does the price have to go? Does the price have to challenge this Ichimoku cloud? Is it going to come to the lower end of this Bollinger Band, which is basically towards the lower end of this uptrending range? You know, if we range it like this, roughly, okay, then yeah, I mean, is it going to break down and come to the lower end of this range? Now the question is, does it even come and touch the Ichimoku cloud, or what happens? And right now we're still at a point where the price is finding support at the 20-week moving average for Ethereum against BTC. It popped over the 20-week from the lower end of the Bollinger Bands, and without having touched those Bollinger Bands, by the way. So yeah, anyway, we're finding it as support. Will it pop to the upper end, or is it going to break down and take more time? We'll see. XRP, we've been watching this one as well. A lot of Ichimoku cloud interactions are close these days. Whoa, where did we go? There we are. So if you want to take a big weekly view, there's your big weekly view. Similar to XMR, you had that 2017 price action. This one went all the way, the highs went into, well, but we don't have the all-time chart here, do we? Because this one starts in May of 2017. It was on Bitfinex. Anyway, whatever. Okay. If you have a comment, any XRP, Army, if you have any comments about best price chart to watch for the best data, let me know. But okay, here's some things to consider. Currently, horizontally, this price action is actually, let's change. Or there, horizontally, this price action is still below these lows. Like, we're not quite there yet, but it is above these lows here. So these lows, important lows there that correspond with these lows here, which were the lowest lows there before it broke down, and then tried to reclaim. It got above it, but couldn't hold it. The price, in fact, the price closed the week at that level, bearishly returning back down. Higher low here, double bottoming in a sense, making that W formation, boom, back to the top above, and then came back down and was able to hold it, tried to get below, but couldn't, and it closed above it. And since it's been pretty strong at that level. So that's, I think that's good in that level, in that sense. So, and really at the end of it, if you look, wow, that level is really the closing level back here, roughly that zone. So no wonder this level was important, and the breakdown was pretty strong and violent. And now it's just nice sideways. It's narrowing, and so what's it going to be? You're going to pop over to the 200 week and above the Ichimoku cloud, similar to XMR. What's the momentum going to do as well? Is like just kind of slowing down, narrowing, winding up. Will it get some sort of pop? We shall see. So stick around for more. I mean, I guess at this point, the bias is yes. You're above these price actions. You made some strong case, but you're still below this one right here. So you're not quite, yeah, we're not quite there yet. I think the best thing is, obviously, you want to be above the Ichimoku cloud. That gives you a little bit more hope. And then you're at these price levels. Yeah. Good luck to you, XRP. All right, now, link against BTC. Here we go. Link against BTC, finding that support at the first main support line that we've got after breaking below the 200-week moving average. It retested that 200-week moving average, and now we are finding that support once again at this level, but for how long and what comes next is unclear. So yeah, it's relatively weak though. We're about to cross the 20-week moving average below the 200-week moving average. So let's see, I just want to see how many weeks we've been in from here. That's in August of 2020. So I don't think that's 200 weeks just yet, but maybe it is. No, it would maybe be 100. Yeah, I see, not even 100. Okay, so in that sense, yeah, you're still counting some of this up price action in this 200-week moving average. So soon it's going to start turning down. But before then, I think the 20-week moving average is also going to be it's continuing down, and it's going to cross the 200-week moving average, and you're going to get across that's kind of this bearish, relatively speaking, you know. So relatively bearish on the link, but the momentum says it wants to pop higher, and maybe that's what this double bouncing is, and maybe it will pop higher and even make higher highs than this and come around into here somewhere and then come back down. I don't know. Either that or it's just going to be fizzly and it'll keep running down. I wouldn't actually be surprised if you see a supportive bounce off of here. That just is part of the whole corrective nature of things. It's like one of these or one of these. Anyway, we'll see. Okay, it's Chainlink against BTC. Good luck. We look at Binance. Binance is definitely, you know, one of the strongest in the history of the game. So cheers to Binance. Look at your strength right there. Basically, a long-term uptrend is the yellow line here. Okay, we've got a basic channeling since, well, you could say lows of over here in December of 2017, highs in April of 19, and then some deviation, but basically these lows here in 21, January of 21, December of 2020, and then again highs up here in May of 2021. So there is a touch low, touch high, touch low, touch high. So we get a bit of a channeling to the upside. I mean, this thing has just been super strong over time, even after it makes its moves up. I mean, let's just for fun look at the retracement off the big move up. Is a 38.2% retracement. That's super duper strong. And yeah, even this one is just about 61.8%. So this is a pretty solid chart. Now, if we start taking time and we go from the low to the high, and we get about 1-to-1, so who's to say what we're in now, if it's just a continuation of corrective action and then we go even more parabolic, or if it's, you know, something else. But ultimately, even this move up, since we made this significant low here, this move up has not been a 38% retracement yet. Has it? No, it hasn't, you know. So that's significant in its own right, but maybe it just needs to keep going higher before it'll correct to a 38.2 or maybe even more, like 61.8 or 78.6. That sort of thing could be happening on the next correction. But until then, BNB just looks like it wants to move higher. Now, we're at the upper end of this channeling, so odds are that it could just go sideways for a while. Especially this is a BTC price chart, right? It's priced in BTC, so anytime you're going sideways against BTC, that's pretty good. I mean, it is a very deflationary asset. So if you can just even keep up with it, you know, in a fluctuating level, then that's pretty hot. However, look, we've got a significant uptrending, local uptrending support line turned resistance now. And we are at the 20-week moving average. We're trying to hold above it, but how much? Well, yeah, you know what? You might get some flip in momentum, but it might only be short-lived, but you're still above the positive line, that you're in the positive territory. So who knows how much more of a narrowing and a winding up the momentum needs to do here for this price chart. But in that sense, you know, it could probably stand to go lower. However, if it's part of a bigger set of moves like this, where you're up and then you come down, but not all the way down, you go higher, and you're up, you go all the way, you don't come all the way down, and then you go higher. Could be that. So it doesn't necessarily, again, need to dump hard, but you have a lot of room here to keep coming down and still have super strong structure, whether you're just holding this or whether you're, well, if you come back down, if you reject it to 20-week, it's likely that you could break below this halfway line here, because you know, you've got the support zone here, you know, and you've just come below this uptrending line here. You just come below it, so, and reject it on the other side. So that might mean you need more time. But then look, there's just plenty of room. You could come even down to this lower end, and you're at the Ichimoku cloud, you're at previous support, and you're in a range. So could be. We'll see. Yeah, this thing is just super strong. Has barely retraced this move up. Look at that. All right, that's BNB for you. No luck needed for BNB, right? It's already rocking hard. All hard work for BNB. No luck required. Okay. Let's see. Origin Trail, TRAC BTC. We're getting a bit longer views today. We're starting now to see, okay, potential for a new trend to form here. Well, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't really want to call that one a new trend. I would probably just start from there and go here. So we start potentially new trend. Does that mean price needs to come back down already? Can price pop above this 20-week moving average? It got rejected pretty hard, but now catching some potential support at this horizontal zone and at the Ichimoku cloud. If we look here, okay, catching support there. So, but what happens? We've got this Ichimoku cloud narrow wall, the side of the knee here. What's going to happen? You're going to cut through. There's a good likelihood. In terms of the momentum, well, yeah, look, I mean, it might need to prolong the negative momentum. Then again, interesting. You've got some potential for a, oh, and that's the nice 200-week moving average. This could be super sweet too. Look, you have a potential for some hidden bullish divergence, if you ask me. Price goes higher, or MACD goes lower, histogram. Now, I'm not super convinced, but it's something. Oops. And if we want to take, let's try retracement. See, it sounds interesting, these price charts, even the weekly, it eventually, oh, wow, yeah. And we saw this, like it's 88, but I forget something. 88.6% retracement zone here. And then it gets a nice pop up, and now we're getting a secondary, you know, test type of situation possibly. These, yeah, so the weekly price charts, they evolve, they do develop, but it takes time. But at a certain point, it's like, you don't imagine seeing your kid every day you don't necessarily see the changes as much, but let's say you only see that kid once every week. You still don't even always see the changes that much, but after a year of seeing them once a week, you could see the differences, and there's something that has developed. And same thing here with these price charts. So we are starting to see forms developing. Having said that though, yeah, I might need to slowly ride this up. We don't know what it's going to do. It might pop again, come back down, touch it again. This would be a very early trend line that would then be, you know, like a launch pad and left behind, and the price would pop up something maybe like this down here. So yeah, so this is Origin Trail currently getting support at this price zone here, and we'll see what happens though. It got rejected by a 20-week moving average. It did get support at the 200-week moving average. Where does it need to find its support in order to confirm that it will make a higher low? Will it make a higher low? We don't know. Currently it is, but what will be of this low? Will it be the lower low and then we have a higher low? That would be another bullish sign. So the other thing I would like to do is just retrace this move. Yeah, it could have come all the way back down here and still be like pretty solid all the way to the lower end of this rectangular zone. Anyway, cool. Having said that, it might just need more time. Might need more time. This might not be clear enough. It might need to wind a bit, be smaller a bit before it'll give anything of significance. Like I said, maybe a small pop, but we're not challenging all-time highs or even, let's say, this price zone. I don't think we're going to touch the Ichimoku cloud just yet, but you never know. On these things, they might just run. Look at this candle move. You know, in 1 week, it made such a huge big move and came up to the 20-week moving average. So, and then it followed through to meet the 20-week moving average 2 weeks later over here. That's hilarious. Okay, anyway, so there you are, Origin Trail price chart. Good stuff. Now, a huge heavy hitter. I mean, like if we're playing baseball, this one has just been a solid batter. And what kind of record? I don't know. You're going to have to fill in your own baseball analogy for me. But right now, okay, like working your way heavily up to the top of the Bollinger Band, above the Ichimoku cloud. I mean, there's potential here for sure. There's definitely potential here. You are, however, let's look at, so those are a couple positives, a couple negatives in terms of like, when I say negatives, these are, you know, forces that would turn the price downward. We have a history here of rejection, okay, and even like a support for a week, but yeah, this zone is a level of highs, so just be aware. But you are above the Ichimoku cloud, and you're at the top level of Bollinger Band. So what can happen is it could find volatility and pop even higher to the upside. Momentum wise, it just had such a big momentum up, and now it's come down. But usually it doesn't just turn right back up and do something hard. Usually it just flops around for a little bit to find some balance and you know, wind up for the next move. So it could just turn at any time and come all the way down here too. What the F, right? You never know. So, however, with DERO, I mean, the bias is definitely to the upside. And if we want to look at the strength here, let's again take a retracement from the low to the high, and we're like a 50% retracement. That's solid. That's a solid move. And yeah, you went top of the Bollinger Band, interact with the 20-week moving average, bottom of the Bollinger Band, back to the top of the Bollinger Band, and now again to the top. Like, this is just really strong. Without, yeah, it deviated below the 20-week moving average, but got right back over. So there you go with DERO. I mean, all signs want to point to lower price action, but it just keeps fighting so hard. It's incredible, this this price chart. Yeah, so you got your nice support over here, which was previously resistance turn support. So right now, I just hope everyone is well and enjoying themselves, but also just recognize the levels of potential difficulty. Okay, you are at a level of potential difficulty. That's all. I would like to get rid of this though, because that's no longer relevant, and we can get rid of this. All right, nice. Good job, DERO, and I'm out for that one now. Now, let's move over to the Icx price chart. Okay, we are at the lower end of this range, fighting with this eye-watering dotted line action, which corresponds to these levels here. And we are in between the middle and the upper. And we've gotten rejected at the 20-week moving average most recently. So yeah, it's probably going to take a bit of time. And then hopefully the next move is up towards this Ichimoku cloud and towards the mid-range of this long, hopefully accumulatory channel, horizontal channel here, horizontal zone. Okay, amazing. Here, let's just pop in a mid-range just for fun. Take the retracement tool, find the 50%, and then we go from here to here, and then make it that color, and we'll make it a dashed line. And these dotted lines, I think we can actually, we'll keep that one, and we'll keep the lower one. No, we don't even need any of them. Okay, that's Icx. I think we're going to keep this one though, because currently everything below here is like a deviation. So we'll keep that one. All right. Once it gets above there, then we'll know we're meaning business. Okay. All right. That's it for Icx. Yeah. All right, next we take a look at Theta against BTC, and we see that, oh, this is the monthly little teaser. Gotta wait for the end of April for that one. That's right, monthly roundup coming at the close of April. Okay, Theta as well, another one of them getting rejected at the 20-week moving average. So we're getting a lot of 20-week moving average rejections. As support, potentially we have the 200-week moving average starting to build here. Got some positive momentum building. So at least you've gone through the worst of it. It has taken quite some time. It has taken, let's call this the top here. Oof. So far you're at about 50 weeks, so about a year. And if you want to argue that, then you're not even a year in. Let's see, how does it relate with this time here? So from, let's say, here to here. Okay, it's breaking it 1-to-1. That's cool. So here is the one, right? One whole time unit up to here is one whole unit to here. Okay. So we'll see. But right now, getting some support still at that horizontal level, but rejection at the 20-week moving average. That's generally where we are right now. Yeah, and with the momentum, it looks like you can just find some base here. That would be super bullish in my opinion, right? I mean, if you can base this high above the previous lows here, again, you're like 61% roughly there. That's incredible. And let's just take this move here. You're at a 78% move, 78.6% from this this move up here. I mean, that's quite significant in my opinion. That's really good. That's really cool. Now, having said that, maybe it's just a longer term. Maybe it's just a longer term move. I don't know. Is it even gonna? Maybe it's gonna touch the Ichimoku cloud, but then it's gonna come down lower. Okay, possible. However, I'm not calling that, by the way, but that's definitely possible. In which case, look, at the same time, then fine. Then you find your low, and it makes a bigger market cycle in time, and then you still have a higher low. But anyway, this is a lot of speculation. I have no idea where this price action is going, especially in this long of a term. In the short term, it seems like we're going to find a base, but who knows? Maybe there will be a pop as well to the upside. That's it. And of course, there's still room. Look, you're getting rejected at 20-week moving average. So there's room to come back down and actually touch and test the 200-week moving average. No doubt. No doubt. We haven't even gotten into this zone here. We got very beautiful support though. So that gives a sign of strength. I mean, why not? We got support at the upper end. We didn't have to really even come into this zone towards bottom end, which was the previous all-time high, all the way back. Okay, that's it for Theta. Looking pretty decent overall. Next, we look at ADA, Cardano against BTC. Also, the story is rejection at the 20-week moving average. This one is in that zone, and whoops, and at about the mid-range of this purple zone that we've carved out. We've had it carved out for some time as the price was falling, and you know, it took a while, but we got here and we're still in here. And so that just says, I think one of the big lessons about this is patience. Time to let things take time to develop. You need to have patience. Things are not going to run away from you. Yeah. Having said that, also, you know, making decisions at good levels is helpful. Like, why not? Okay. Now it's easier said than done. Price has not come and touched this 200-week moving average. You are at the lower end of the Bollinger Band. And so rejection at 20-week moving average, is it just going to slow down and narrow? That looks like what the momentum could want to do. I don't know how much lower it wants to go. I mean, you've already got a little bit of a positive momentum histogram here. So maybe it can start to flatten and find some support. We'll see how far RSI needs to go down. I mean, yeah, you're hovering these price actions. I mean, if you can hold this and go higher, that makes a higher low than this low, and it's also at decently significant price action levels, and it basically cuts in half. You know, you get half between this level here above is a bullish area, and below is a bearish area, in a sense, and you're kind of right there at the halfway point there. Although you do have deviations like that. So maybe this will be a deviation that comes back below and it goes lower. I don't know. But I've always said that there's this nice potential for the price to come up to this Ichimoku cloud, top of the Bollinger Band, and then come down further if it needs to. Okay, that's Cardano price chart. All right, now we move over to our friends, Pirate Chain, RBTC. Let's check the weekly, no daily stuff. Okay, wait a second here. Too many lines, my bad. No, thank you. Whatever, we'll keep you there for now. Will we? Nope. Let's get rid of you. And okay, but that was a channel, one and done. So on Pirate Chain, doing well. We're above the 20-week moving average, hit the top of the Bollinger Band, hit the lower end of this horizontal rectangle of price chop action resistance. And now slowly making the way with a bit of chopping volatility, channeling down. And that's great. You just want to hold this horizontal line if you can, take as much time as you want so the 20-week moving average can catch up. And then, yeah, you just get some support here if you need to come this low. Otherwise, if you can stay higher, then you're above these wicks. If you can keep your support above these wicks, if you noticed already that the price supported at that level above these wicks, that's a decent thing. But ultimately, it's really this horizontal level right here that matters. And then worst case scenario, this uptrending support line of the longer trend. Okay, yeah, looking good overall. However, you're relatively negative momentum. All right, but you're in the lower negative end of things with the MACD and signal lines. I mean, well, maybe not. You know, there's this one up here, but yeah, your MACD line. But generally, the energy of it is in the negative level. So that's okay. And if you look at this, it's like proportionally, it probably needs to take a bit of time. I don't know. However, though, we've got this target of July here. So how realistic is that? Maybe it will pop higher and maybe it will just have a bigger momentum. And so in that case, instead of needing to go small like this already, maybe it'll be bigger, big, you know, like, and then it'll do that. I don't know. We're going to find out. It's going to be really interesting to watch. Pirate Chain has a lot of potential, and fundamentally, and even technically, if you can get above this zone, then your next target is quite much higher. So, and this is against BTC price. So, yes, it's looking good. And again, it's gone up nicely so that it has time and space to go down if it has to. And if it's not going to make this flat pattern that we're thinking here with some sort of ABC, then okay, fine. Then it's just suffering the life of a altcoin against Bitcoin price chart where, yeah, it's just going to maybe flatten a bit. And as long as you're making higher highs, again, this uptrending support line is important. So as long as you hold those, then you're still in business. Otherwise, yeah, if you can hold this, you really want to hold the 20-week moving average as well. Like you held it here just recently after the first breakthrough, but then you moved away from it. You want to hold it again. That's bullish. Then you're probably going a nice move up. So yeah, let's see what happens here. Pirate Chain, also room for going higher in momentum, but it might also stay at those levels again and just chop around. Okay, so we'll see. Pirate Chain. Now, speaking of chopping around and interesting things, I mean, we've got KMD price chart here. And wow, oh wow, this price chart is just, oh, we're on a daily? No thanks, we'll get to that another time, maybe. We'll do the weekly, and yeah, we have a nice bullish candle. We've had them before, but if this is the biggest green candle so far in this week since back in August of 2021. Now we've had bigger price movements. Look at this big red one, but it was just not holding. So for me, it's more about the body because there are a lot of wicks and they are significant in terms of the price and the movements and whatever, but it's just not as important as the closing of the week. So we still have a few more days to close this candle. If you notice, it's getting rejected around this price level here, previous support. And so we'll see what that does. But price also went all the way to the top of the Bollinger Band on the weekly. Main thing here is going to be stay above the 20-week moving average on the Bollinger Bands. If you can close there, above there, and then hold that with closing candles above it, that's bullish over the next little while. And then you're above the horizontal level, which corresponds to the previous all-time low, which then was broken by this. And if you can get above it, then you're deviating below over here, and now you're back above, and then you can go higher potentially. So yeah, you're at a difficult price level here though. So we'll see where ultimately this candle close is. Maybe it's going to close at below the 20-week moving average. We don't know. Maybe it'll close high up the top of the Bollinger Band. We don't. We're going to find out though. So stick around for the next one, and we'll know by then. Okay, that's it for KMD. So far, so good. All right. And then finally, we've got the BTC price chart currently below the $40,000 level in the 39s. This is the daily. We're not looking at that right now. We are looking at the weekly. Rejection at the 20-week moving average. That is our theme. I don't have much else to say. We are currently at the upper end, just above the Ichimoku cloud. And where is this candle going to close this week? It's hard to say, but I think overall, the sentiment that we're going to chop around for a little while longer, 4 to 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, whatever. And then that's a possible turnaround time in middle end of May to the beginning of June, possible turnaround time. Yeah, rejection at the 20-week moving average. Let's see if it can hold this uptrending support, but not so sure. We'll see. Okay, that's it for the BTC. And that's it for the weekly roundup. I don't really have much else to say other than wishing you well. Stick around for a more specific Bitcoin video, BTC update. And until next, and watch the other one if you haven't already, the other weekly roundup. And yeah, enjoy. Wishing you love, peace, and happiness. Goodbye.